Jack Harlow used to be everywhere. At one point, you could not escape him online. However, today he has mysteriously gone ghost. And the strangest part is, this didn't happen after some flop or controversy. Jack Harlow disappeared while he was still on top.
Y'all, where is Jack Harlow? That man was everywhere. I feel like 2020, 2021. I feel like that was my man for like a solid 2 years. And where did he go?
With no new album in nearly 3 years, while some fans think that Jack is retiring from music now to focus on acting, the even bigger question we have to answer though is, when Jack Harlow's next album does finally drop, will anyone actually care?
What's going on? Straight to the big questions, Jack. Where's the album?
It is a big question, you know, I ask myself this all the time, where is the album?
As of the time I'm recording this video, Jack Harlow's Instagram account has been completely wiped clean. 0 posts, 6 million followers, not one explanation. Yet, while we will learn in a sec that this might actually be a sign that his new album is closer than ever, first we have to understand just how bizarre this disappearance is for the once viral star.
Goat vaccination spot.
What?
I guess they're trying to get political.
Yeah.
Why even?
That says vacation, dumbass.
Goat vacation spot, my fault. Goat vacation spot.
Jack Harlow is far from some lucky overnight success. Long before linking up with Drewski, after pumping out countless early EPs and mixtapes throughout high school in Kentucky, it wasn't until Jack's decision to move to Atlanta where he would cross paths with DJ Drama.
Why Atlanta?
Because like that's the epicenter right now, and it's like the closest one to Louisville, 6-hour drive. So it was easy to slide down there.
And immediately hitting it off at the studio, Jack Harlow would ink his first record contract with DJ Drama and Don Cannon's label, Generation Now, the same label that had also signed Lil Uzi Vert.
You're friends with Jack Harlow. Do you think you deserve all this hate he's getting? One more time. A lot of people are saying he just has white privilege, that he's not as good of a rapper.
No, he doesn't have white privilege.
You don't think so?
No, he signed to black people. He's not.
With the stage then set for his breakout moment, currently certified diamond, I think it's safe to say that Jack Harlow's 2020 hit What's Poppin' was quite the defining breakthrough, thanks to first a Lyrical Lemonade music video, as well as then, more importantly, the song exploding all over TikTok.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I could pass that bitch like Stockton.
Growing so popular that a trio of mainstream giants at the time, DaBaby, Tory Lanez, and Lil Wayne all hopped on and added verses to the What's Poppin' remix. Yet, Jack Harlow was only getting started, and from here on out, he was everywhere. His debut album arrived in December of 2020, and with hits like Tyler Hero, this rolled his momentum right on to the following year. However, keep in mind too that, behind the scenes, something else went down in this very same year, which may have been playing a role in Jack's recent hiatus.
New at 11, Jack Harlow is now being sued for a deadly shooting last year during a Derby Eve party. The Grammy-nominated rapper was added to a lawsuit filed against the owner of Vibes nightclub.
Besides getting dragged into legal drama that we're about to dive into later on, in addition to performing on SNL, this was Jack Harlow's year of collabs, including a verse on Eminem's Killer remix, plus the 7-time platinum Industry Baby. As the first and only #1 song of Jack Harlow's career, this would not be the case very long, as just 1 year later, First Class was next to explode, with a beat sampling Fergie's 2006 iconic anthem Glamorous. Before we knew it, Jack Harlow had another multi-platinum smash under his belt.
Now, whose idea was it to flip that Fergie record?
Mine, proudly.
Did anybody think it was corny? Did they be like, no, I don't know about that, Jack?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say corny, but when I was in the studio making it, I was like, I feel so strong about this. So I'm proud of myself on that one. And I've been wanting that type of record. I idolized Fergie as a kid.
This dude can rap, bro, posted Kanye West in 2022. And I'm saying that word as a compliment. Top 5 out right now, Kanye boldly declared, posting this screenshot from Jack's music video for Nail Tech, which was off of a sophomore album titled Come Home, The Kids Miss You. As the music world watched and waited to see what Jack would do next, there are only 4 features on this project, and each one is a certified legend. Pharrell, Lil Wayne, Justin Timberlake, and then Drake. On their first ever collab, which they named in honor of the famous Kentucky racing track, Churchill Downs.
You know, that just drove me. I had to show up. You know, I'm so proud of this guy, and we're drunk.
Now, when you heard Drake's verse, did you want to rewrite yours?
I wanted to add to it. The moment he did it, I was like, because he bodied you. He went stupid. He went stupid.
You feel like he bodied you on your own shit?
I feel like the link did, but I feel like that's one of my best verses.
It's a good verse. Really good verse.
I appreciate it.
But despite a fire feature from Drake, plus getting praised by Kanye West, and despite its commercial success selling 113K first week, would this album go down as the peak of Jack Harlow? Well, as history writes it, this is indeed where the disconnect really started. As from this point forward, Jack's career was never the same. This Jack Harlow is sadly going down the Post Malone route. Reads this viral tweet with millions of views. MGK, Post Malone, and now Jack Harlow all using rap as a stepping stone to get famous, chimes in another. Drawing comparisons to others such as Post Malone, who has basically abandoned hip-hop after he blew up, going full-on pop, or I guess now a country star, while Jack Harlow was finally seeing major success in terms of his mainstream popularity. Unfortunately, this came at the cost of disappointing many of his day one fans. Especially made a million times worse after he sparked viral controversy for covering this Elvis song next to an orchestra, slammed with culture vulture comments left and right. As Jack Harlow continued to cross into lanes outside of hip-hop, the conversation around him slowly shifted, and not in his favor.
Outside of being painfully generic and uninventive, it just feels like Jack Harlow is feeding into this silhouette, a void, a black hole of a person.
With criticism rising that he had, quote, switched to pop now in order to cater to the masses, forgetting about his OG fans in the process. Yet, one fact was undeniable. Jack Harlow 100% heard this feedback. So, after locking back in the studio more motivated than ever, in spring of 2023 arrived his third studio album, Jackman, which, interestingly, if you didn't know, is actually his real birth name. Featuring this cover art of him shirtless, at a concise length of 10 tracks, Jackman is a full-out rap album, hearing him return back to his old roots. But, with that being said, how was the album received?
It's clear Jack can rap and certainly establish an idea, but developing it and writing a whole song around it is kind of another story. It kind of has the vibe of a very thrown together mixtape in a way, but simultaneously, while there are some major missteps on this thing, there aren't as many as there have been. So overall, on average, it's kind of better and more consistent, possibly the best project he's come out with thus far.
While in my opinion, music-wise the album was decent, and definitely did cater to his older rap fanbase, numbers-wise however, Jackman was unable to produce any chart-topping hits, and selling 33K first week, the lowest of his 3 albums, which, this irony is what says everything. We watched Jack Harlow finally listen to his diehard fans and release the project that they had been begging for, only for it to become the least successful album of his career. So, by this point, it was painfully clear that if Billboard's success in chasing platinum plaques was really what he's after, then whether we like it or not, Jack Harlow's best bet is to take the pop route. Thus, that is exactly what he did next. But, in the process, split his fanbase further in 2 separate directions. With Jackman not performing up to expectations, Jack then resorted back to his old viral formula, and proved once again that it still worked. Released in the fall of 2024 was Lovin' On Me, with not only another sample-heavy instrumental, but carried by its viral snippet online, another TikTok smash that nobody could escape.
I like no whips and chains, but you can hold me down.
It's a no-go.
I'm vanilla, baby. I choke you.
I love your takes on my voice. You're 28 telling me I'm still a baby.
First of all, bruh, this nigga love sampling old music. I can't remember who sang that song, but it's an R&B song.
This time choosing to sample this old 1995 R&B record by Cadillac Dale. This is third career Billboard #1 hit, Lovin' On Me propelled Jack Harlow right back into the spotlight, proving another uncomfortable fact in the process. The version of Jack Harlow which gets criticized the most continues to be his most successful. Thank you for allowing me to reset this year. He typed in an Instagram post accompanying the song's release. This has been one of the happiest years of my life. But now, he said, a new era begins. However, what has this quote, new era consisted of, you ask? Well, at least so far, I think everyone will agree, this has been the most confusing period of Jack Harlow's career. As of this video, Jackman remains the last album that Jack Harlow has released, nearly 3 years ago. And while he did put out these 4 random singles, rather, instead of rapping, Jack Harlow has been busy acting in about just as many movies.
Say, white boy, you telling me your friend here doesn't look exactly like Malcolm X? Hey, yo, shut the up and play ball. I'm gonna clamp that up. Let's go. Come on.
Back in 2023, Jack Harlow officially made his cinema debut, acting in the new remake of White Man Can't Jump. Cast to play this character of Jeremy, released exclusively on Hulu, it was clear that Jack really tried to go all out for this role, and prove that he actually had the talent. I really put the time in with the script. I tried to be egoless during the audition, take notes, and do what I had to do. he said.
I just want to kill it. I just want it to be good, and I want to do everything I can to make it good. You know, there was an initial excitement about announcing it and just the buzz that comes with, look, I'm gonna move it. Everybody like, wow, it's crazy. But after that dust settles, it's time to make it good.
Yeah.
But was the movie actually good? Despite his best effort, this remake was met with very mixed reviews from critics. Yet, that did not stop Jack from returning to the big screen. 1 year later, it was revealed that Jack Harlow had joined the cast of the Apple TV film The Instigators, co-starring Matt Damon and Casey Affleck.
What is this, huh? What's his problem?
He's a stand-up guy, kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, I'm a professional apologist on Excalibur.
Hey, we took care of you, didn't we?
Yeah, 2 to 3 in Walpole. Where's all the money?
We took it out last night because there was so much of it.
Wait, there's no money?
No, there's no fucking money.
Just don't go into this movie expecting to see Jack Harlow in every scene, because, spoiler alert, Jack's character gets brutally murdered within about 20 minutes. Not before first getting waterboarded, as he portrays a criminal during a heist gone terribly wrong.
You work with Looney Tunes who push mobs in Quincy and everything up for everyone else.
It was great to see how confident and flexible he was, said Affleck on working with Harlow, making sure to note this was only his second ever movie. He came in with 10 good ideas for every scene. It was as if he'd been acting for a really long time. With at least a little better reviews this time, a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, but simply by having a popular rapper attached instantly brought the project way more media attention. I got more text messages about Jack Harlow being cast than I did about the thing being made, the film's co-writer said. So, with this being considered, is the reason why Jack Harlow has not been releasing much music lately? Because he's been so locked in on acting?
How are you, Hollywood?
I'm alright.
I mean, I like seeing the side of you, singer turned actor.
Thank you.
Were you taking notes like Matt's character?
Yeah, I was, mentally.
So cool. I mean, you were incredible in White Man Can't Jump.
Thank you.
And so just seeing you pop up in this stuff was like, good for you. Is that the plan? More movies, less music?
Definitely not less music. Maybe more movies, but not at the cost of music. Definitely not.
When's new music coming out?
We're gonna see. I'm in the studio.
I feel like dude is soft retiring into acting, one fan theorizes on Reddit. In addition to shutting down and denying this question in multiple interviews though, Jack actually already addressed this before on Jackman, rapping these lyrics on his song Ambitious. Folks think it's about to be more acting and less rhyming, but hell nah, I gotta show these boys who the best out is. While with only 4 new singles in these past 2 years, and 2 movies, it for sure makes sense to think that Jack Harlow has shifted his focus elsewhere, but it was actually this single titled Tranquility, dropped as a surprise right at the end of 2024, where we finally get a glimpse into Jack's recent mindset. Rapping over super smooth production handled by Hollywood Cole and paired with this simple music video of him dressed in all black, walking down the street like any normal human. To keep this down-to-earth vibe going, Tranquility hears Jack Harlow rap one continuous verse about not only straying away from the traps of the industry, as well as also his struggle not to care what other people think, with lyrics like,
every day I grow a little less accessible, less of a people pleaser, less flexible.
Before then, this interesting bar about critics and online feedback. The hate got to me, he admits, but I had to act straight like I'm trying to seem hetero.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like this verse from Jack Harlow. I do. And then the other stuff I just thought it was true. You know what I'm saying? I think this is probably Jack's best work or best little verse in like a cool, I don't know how long.
Tranquility was far from Jack chasing a hit, and with clever bars throughout, this had fans excited for what 2025 had in store, including hopefully that 4th album. Instead, this was obviously not the case. Besides this Lucy single in February, all we got was one new release, Just Us, featuring Doja Cat. As their label's latest attempt to cook up a new TikTok trendy hit, the response from fans to this collaboration, though, was surprisingly quiet. And it was actually the music video here, where the two are on a date together acting in love, that will receive more attention than the song itself.
Hey man, I know they acting, but this nigga's got some shit going on. You not fooling me with these music videos. I mean, you heard what she talking about you though. Man, come on.
As we can see, Just Us went on to peak at number 57, and honestly, for a big release with 2 names like Jack Harlow and Doja Cat, this was underwhelming, no matter how you put it. But in fact, Just Us has been the only one of Jack's 4 recent singles to even chart at all. So it's time to answer the question, what is really going on with Jack Harlow? Did he truly fall off like some people say he did? Or is his next #1 hit just around the corner? While fans have rightfully questioned Jack's public silence, there has also been one other reason behind the scenes why his team may have chosen to hold things off for a bit, one that had nothing to do with music. My heart is broken by the events that occurred over Derby weekend, Jack Harlow typed on his story. My heart breaks for everyone touched by this tragic death. My heart breaks for my city, a place that's been through too much pain already. I've been in touch with the family during this unimaginably painful time, and I'm grateful to them for keeping the lines of communication open. nothing can change what happened. Back in 2021, while in his hometown of Louisville celebrating the Kentucky Derby, a tragic shooting occurred at this exact nightclub right here, which Jack Harlow and his DJ were in. With Jack's longtime DJ, Ronnie, the one revealed to have pulled the trigger following an argument, later claiming he acted in self-defense. As a result, it wasn't long before Jack Harlow found himself roped into multiple lawsuits as well, with plaintiffs trying to claim that because of Harlow's fame and status, the nightclub security allowed them in without having to go through the same screenings as everyone else, which, in turn, allowed his DJ to sneak a weapon in. Now, I want to make it clear that we don't know exactly how much Jack himself was actually involved in these court trials, but it is definitely reasonable to believe that his team was waiting for everything to wrap up before starting their next move. And in the spring of 2025, all 3 of Jack's lawsuits did this.
Rapper Jack Harlow was dismissed from multiple lawsuits surrounding a 2021 fatal shooting.
Harlow was a defendant in 3 lawsuits, including one filed by the family of 37-year-old Kazmira Nash. Nash was shot and killed May 1st, 2021 by Harlow's longtime DJ, Ronnie O'Bannon.
According to reports, it is unclear if there was any type of settlement reached. Plus, with Harlow's attorney declining to comment, this means we will likely never know. Yet, with all of this legal drama off of his plate, and things now straightened out behind the scenes, almost 3 years later, it appears that Jack is finally gearing up to release his long-awaited album. But, if we're being honest, is there even any hype for new Jack Harlow music? Or, like another rapper who destroyed their momentum, as I just covered in my previous video, Roddy Ricch? Did Jack wait too long and let his momentum pass by? When an artist or rapper wipes their Instagram clean, it typically means one of 2 things. First, they're about to post a sponsored ad on their feed they got paid a big bag for. Or second, and far more commonly, artists clear their accounts when they're about to start the rollout for a new project. Behavior that even Jack Harlow himself has followed in the past. But, when asked by Zane Lowe recently about what is taking this album so long, Jack answered this.
Straight to the big questions, Jack. Where's the album?
It is a big question. I ask myself this all the time. Where is the album? It's in process. I'm trying to transcend. I want to do something I've never done, and I'm just slowly starting to accept that maybe it's going to take me longer than any of my past projects. If I want it to be like nothing I've ever done, maybe it'll take longer than things I have done.
What about these Lucy's? What about these songs that are coming out? Are they going to add up to the bigger picture, or will some of them stand on their own feet and not make it into the final cut, do you think?
That's a good question. To be determined.
Although, of course, extremely successful, and the paychecks he's cashing still have to be insane, including his multiple brand deals like New Balance. The truth is, though, momentum in music is very fragile, and after Jack Harlow disappeared for so long out of the spotlight, in an era like today that never stops moving, staying quiet can actually be your loudest mistake.